Tell me something. What do you know about being psychic, being intuitive, and just being? Hello there. I would like to know if you have any questions for me, anything that you're curious about. What would you like to know about what I do? So many times people say to me, well, is this a definite when I channel for them? And I say to them, you know what? Nothing is definite because we create it and co-create it as we go along. It's also dependent on what other people do. It's dependent on what other people are feeling. And there's many shifts and changes. The important thing to understand is at this moment in time, this is a better path. At this moment in time, this would be the better way of doing things. So many times I have channeled certain things for people, and then they go and do the opposite, or they do something different. And I go, you see, exactly. You were unavailable to take what I offered you, and you did something different. So it changed life and the way things are created for other people as well. And it's understanding that there's good, there's better, there's best. And sometimes we get to stick with good because we're afraid to step into the better. And that's okay, because everything has a path, a purpose, and leads to something else. It's like when I used to make quilts, I would start off with one idea, and very often something very different would come forward, depending on the material I had, depending on how I felt that day, and just depending on what was happening. For example, I started making a wedding ring quilt where it's very small pieces and you have to be very precise. Well, people, that is not something Janine should do. I love making quilts. I make squares, I make rounds, I make certain things. Absolute precision is not what's going to crack it for me. So guess what? It got turned into something else. It became an applique rather than a wedding ring quilt. And this is what life is about. We look at what's available, we look at how we're feeling, we look at what's there, and we get to take action on that. Sometimes, and this has happened to me before, you get 18 seconds to make a decision. Shall I do this or shall I do that? And I remember costing my husband and I quite a lot of money in that 18 seconds. And yet when I look back, the path that we then went on has definitely brought a lot more growth, a lot more relationship, and a lot more other beneficial things. And this was because I went, oops, I messed up. What can happen now for the greatest of good and the highest of good of all? And I allowed what appeared to be an absolute disaster to be turned into something that actually turned out to be very good and really, really much better in our lives. Is it better? Well, I will never know because I made a different decision to the one that I could have made. The bottom line is you make the decision, make any decision, because you can always change what you're doing. You can change the way you're going, and you can create better from it. So nothing is really fixed in stone or in sand. It's allowing what is the better way to come forward and to take you where you're going. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. This morning, it came forward to me that we can get into N-O-ing, knowing, or we can get into knowing, K-N-O-W-I-N-G. We can say no to what's presenting, and we can say, I know this is a better way. I have a deep feeling within me, a deep understanding and a feeling of peace and calm about it. Very often when we say N-O-ing, we are saying no to expansion. We are saying no to what we dislike. Now, obviously, if there's things around boundaries and things that are really not going to serve you, then we do get into N-O, because we have a K-N-O-W about it, a knowing about it. So play around with that. See where you may be saying no to something that's beneficial, and where you're saying no because there's a greater yes coming along. Let me know in the comments. Pop along and find me on social media, and let's chat and see what else I can help you with. Have a grand, glorious, and amazing day. Bye-bye.